Time to force the black, force the black. Oh, well, that's not going to be too hard in this pack. Hey gang, welcome to the Theros draft. Been crushing it, forcing black a whole bunch. Going to keep doing that, and I was just excited to try to force it. And it looks like we have a great pack for it. Whip is going to be grand. We're passing a gray merchant, so I might jump into it, but we're going to be cutting it fairly hard. And the only other really good card in this pack is Wingsteed Rider. There's certainly good playables, but Wingsteed Rider is the only, shining all-star there after the gray merchant, and that means we don't really want this in a black deck anyway, though I do love you my black-white. A really nice place to start, followed up with a Disciple of Phoenix, happy to grab over a Lash of the Whip. And now we see a touch of green, a really nice blue-white card. Might want to be scared of that Wingsteed Rider and Battlewise Hoplite coming around, but besides that, very happy with our follow-up pick here. Ordeal's really tasty, though not entirely what I have going for my deck. I think I like the Sedge Scorpion a bit better. The Cavern Lamphead's a little too weak for me to grab it as a black card. Ordeal's better. Sedge Scorpion works in the colors I want to be in. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and grab the Sedge Scorpion. It just has to do with forcing an archetype that I enjoy. It's just so hard to pass. Nah, screw it, I'm taking the Ordeal. Haha. Ooh, I actually like this card. I'm not too sure if I want to go into a third color for Sentry of the Underworld, but being mono black with a splash of white tends to be very good. But there is a Griptide and Wave Crash Triton here. I'm definitely forcing black even if it is fully cut because Whip is going to be too good. I think if I was being a little more conservative, I'd take the Wave Crash Triton or the Griptide into black, but I'm going to see where things go as we make black a thing. Ooh, wow. Such great cards here. I'm taking the Gray Merchant because of the whole black devotion thing. The Emissary, though, is pretty insane. I just don't want to be sending more black signals. It's really sad to pass this white, but we might not even be there, so it's okay. How is there a God's Willing, Gray Merchant, Heliod's Emissary? Even this Horizon Chimera, which is 2 colors, still in the pack. Pretty crazy. But I'm happy to have this solid start. Take Train Tactics. If we go blue, it's just a fine comeback trick, and everything else is a waste of life. The Decorated Griffin could be a sideboard card. Same with Anvil. Actually, I'd probably have the Raptor over the Griffin. I mean sideboard, because black can have trouble dealing with flyers. Wow, this is a really late... Am I in an 8-4? God, okay, I'm taking the Wingsteed Rider over the Chimera. It's just too good. God's Willing I really like as well. It could end up ending us with a really tough mana base, but I'm actually okay with that for a Wingsteed Rider. Or am I? I lied. I want God's Willing over Wingsteed Rider. I'm going black. White is amazing. It's an open color, which means we should get some good white to accentuate our black. Black isn't particularly open. All we got was this late gray merchant. I'm gonna take the Glare of Hairsafe for the sideboard. Mnemonic Wall is an honorable mention, though if I end up having a wall deck, I'll want it. But right now, I'm looking to see that white's gonna be fairly open. And it'll be pretty good. Picking up the God's Willings, Divine Verdicts, any one white mana casting cost creature. Still, though, maybe it's right to pick up the Opaline Unicorn, splash in some white. Yeah, I think I like... I don't know, Wave Crash Triton does exactly what my deck would want to do in black. I don't know why this slash tabled, but I'm glad to have it. I'm surprised there isn't more black flowing with this having tabled. This is the only other black card in the pack after the Disciple, and it's a good black card. Maybe we just had weak black packs, I'm not too sure. I'm going to cut the Demolish, actually, because I have the Whip. Normally I'd want the foil, but who cares? Ray of Dissolution will be good if we end up being in white. Anvil Rot Raptor, again, fine for the sideboard, but not looking to play into that too heavily right now. A little dire first pack. White was open. Black seemed open. In the sense that we had a late gray merchant. I know it's not like the #1 pick ever in black, but shouldn't have gone as late as it did. And with the Lash of the Whip tabling, that's kind of crazy. But this is not where I want to be in a heavy mono black deck after first pack, with being spread across well, this is not a color, two other colors, and having no real good early defense. Like the Baleful Eidolons kind of need, I think I have like twice as many Baleful Eidolons than any other type of creature that I have in my collection. I'm looking for the Sentry of the Underworld to table, so I'm not going to grab it here. Nimbus Naiad is way better than Return Phalanx and Pharika's Cure, but with what I'm trying to do in black and forcing it, I'm kind of tempted to go that route. Let the blue pass me up. Because Training Tactics and Ordeal aren't really great in a heavy black deck. Yeah, I'm going to take the Cure. Since I'm looking to go heavy black with a little bit of like a white splash, and then see if this Sentry tables. I do like the Return Phalanx, but in general I should be able to pick that up relatively simply as we move forward. Baleful Eidolon, happy to grab. Looking for the Scholar of Atheros to table. Noticing another Ordeal, which is scary. But again, not for our deck. Happy to have the Baleful Eidolon, to be honest. Another Cure's great. Another Ordeal of Purphoros. Just paying attention. Nothing else we want. So nice early picks for us in terms of showing up our early game. I don't know why I'm keeping the blue available since I just passed some great blue. If I was going to go blue, then would have been the time to jump into it, but oh well. I suppose it's really only there if like a prognostic Sphinx or something gets passed super late, which won't, but you know. Weirder things have happened. Like this Lash of Whip tabling. Ooh, okay, so we're kind of loading up on our cures. Don't care that much for 3 in this deck so far. Certainly better than a Flesh Mad Steed and, I mean, really anything else in this deck, so I'll grab it. If nothing else, just to make it very cure? Make it very clear to everyone that don't be black. That's a bad idea for all involved. Like the Scorpion, but the Minotaur is kind of what our deck wants in the 3-drop slot. I'm not jumping into green for it, that's for sure. So that's fine. A little earlier in the pack. What? Well, I'm taking the Rider. I mean, this is this next late Rider that we saw. The Ordeal is arguable, something to play, but we're not looking to be a beatdown deck in any way, shape, or form. And even though I want to be playing into white a wee bit, yeah, Winged Rider is fine. It's just really rough on the mana. Alright, here's a decision now, actually. Do I want a second Lash or a Scholar of Atheros? We had one that was probably going to table, and having 2 in a deck like this is actually quite grand. I'm pretty much committing to going the black-white route now. Lash is quite delicious, but you don't want too many. I'd rather, if this was Sip of Hemlock, I think I'd grab it. I'm going to take the Lash. I still want to be heavier black than white, and I'm betting on that other Scholar. No, actually, I lied. If it doesn't come through, I'm going to be really bummed because I really want this Scholar of Atheros in this deck. I'll take a look on a Band Elder, though I'm hoping not to play that in the 3-drop slot. I want more black. Here's the Sentry that tabled as anticipated, and Scholar table? Yeah, it did. Cool, great. So that's exactly what I wanted from those 2 packs. Now we'll just cut things that don't matter. Elder's not being played. We have already 3 white 3-drops. The 2 that I want in the deck, plus a Rider, which is grand and powerful, but just a little too hard, I think, to make work in this kind of deck. And I like having the Sentries as our top end. So what I really want to see is fleshing out of this 2 and 3-drop spot in more Baleful Eidolons and Pharika's, or the Phalanx Leaders in the 2-drop slots. Things to just kind of help us get to our late game and make our devotion pieces work very well. And in a Born Overlord, which I always want. Please play Stymied Hopes. Go for it. Connect 4. I hope everyone is enjoying the Born of the Gods preview week. This is the first week that we get to see some of the new cards in the new set. I personally have been super stoked on them. I've been loving seeing all the flashy spoilers of the new gods, which I think are super cool and actually are going to be easier to be playable with their devotion to 2 colors. That's my, early assumption. I like Xenagos. If you haven't seen the new Xenagos, I won't spoil it for you, even though I think it's pretty much spoiled everywhere else, but you should check out Xenagos in the new set. pesky planeswalker doing crazy things. And I'm kind of worried about the tribute costs. I don't like letting my opponents make decisions about how my cards play, but I do think it's going to make for some very fun and interesting gameplay. Overall, just super excited for the new set, as all of us addicts are. Come on, Elspeth and or Abhorrent Overlord. Well, that's not what I was looking for. Disciple is great. I would also love a Read the Bones to come around. We'll probably get this Dark Betrayal on the wheel, and that's about it. Asp is very good, but obviously not for us. Ooh, Heliod's Emissary. I'm going to slam because it's so powerful. We do need 4 drops. I really want this Return Phalanx to come back, though the other one didn't, so I'm not entirely sure it will. I would pick up the Hopeful Eidolon if it tabled as well. But right now, just an Emissary is too good. I'll take the Lash now. Sad seeing this Nimbus Naiad go by. Oh wait, there's a Spear. Huh. I just totally overlooked this. Oy, how do I want my mana to work? This is going to be rough. I think having a Spear and a Whip is powerful enough to where it's worth stretching your mana. And since I already have a Lash, I'm not like dying for removal. I mean, certainly I do need more. All I have are these like early cures, Lash the Whip, and then some dorky dudes. But yeah, Spear's too powerful. We're going to grab it and force the mana and see if we can't keep our eyes peeled for ways to smooth out the mana. I don't think Unknown Shores is what I'm looking for there. Though could be. Maybe I pick it up here. Annex and Simon is too good. Sea God's Revenge is too good. We're not grabbing them. We're okay on 2 drops if you consider Furika's Cure's 2 drops. But we're still a little bit light on power in the 2 and 3 drop slot. I don't know if we're super guaranteed to be staying alive yet. Because of that, I'm tempted to grab like a Setessan Battle Priest or just one of these 2s, but I'm trying to think of how these cards are going to be played. Unknown Shores is going to be bad if we're trying to get the double something on, because it's not black or white, it just kind of like holds us back, so that's going to be a bummer. I think I'll just take a Fleshmad Steed, shore up the 2 drop slot. We're starting to move a lot more into white than black, which is not grand considering some of our best black cards are kind of good with Devotion. So that worries me, but such is the way this draft is going. Divine Verdict is actually fine for part of our removal suite. Ooh, Return Phalanx is exactly what I want. Way more than this Cavern Lamphead, that's for sure. So that's golden. I love this Foil Mountain. Kind of want to take it, but Chosen can be too good in a heroic deck, so we'll cut it. And then here we're at, we need to make a cut. Right now we'll hide the Ray of Dissolution. We really want to upgrade our early game if possible, though I think at this point we've seen everything we were going to see. That's fascinating. What was going to table here? I forget. Something I wanted. Not the gift, that's for sure. I just said a second ago, but then I got distracted by the Spear of Heliod we picked up. Anyway, I don't need another 2-drop. It's certainly not a white 2-drop. So Viper's Kiss will be fine. Cavalry Pegasus we'll have for the side as well. Hating that Vaporkin, which is difficult to deal with. And hey, even a Setessan Battle Priest. Last chance to pick up something that helps with the mana. I was hoping like a Unicorn would come down. Instead, I think we're just going to run 18 lands and have to, hope that the 18, even split is going to not affect us too hard on our double black and double white spells. And I think the power level of our spells will help us with that. Ooh, Bronze Sable. That's actually a fine sideboard card. Alright, some interesting decisions about how we want our early game to play out. And then, besides that, I think we have a really nice power level of deck. So hold on a second. Okay, here's the first breakdown. Oh, and I remembered what I wanted on that table with the Gift of Immortality pack. And that was the Dark Betrayal, which didn't come, which is a bummer. Though I do have a Glare of Hearsay, which is pretty nice. Here we're at 20 cards with 13 creatures. pretty nice removal suite, plus our two overpowered legendary enchantment artifacts. So I'm kind of stoked on that. And now we're just trying to decide, I'm trying to decide what I want my last two cards to be. Because we're definitely playing 18 lands. Viper's Kiss, Ray, and Glare of Heresy are kind of our all-star sideboard peeps. I think we want to shore up our 2-drop situation, because we just can't get run over while we're trying to get our mana base online and get into our nice finishers with our Sentries, Emissary, and our spears. I do think I want another creature as well. I don't want this Laguna Ban Elder in the 3-drop slot. So basically I'm looking to put in this last Pharika's Cure and a 2-drop. The Steed is nice because of Devotion, but I only have 2 Disciple of Phoenixes and a Grey Merchant of Asphodel. Honestly, they're working more as enter the battlefield triggers that have a little bit of upside, and just as nice big-butted defensive peeps. I don't have the Devotion deck, so that means the Steed is lame. I'd rather have either a Sable, which will trade off well, with the 2 power, so that it has some defense. The Cavalry Pegasus is kind of a waste. All I have are these 2 Scholar of Athreoses, and they're basically hanging on for defense. And then aside from that, I have this Attested Battle Priest, which I am totally down to have brought in over the Sable if I feel like that's the kind of defense I need early on. But for now, I'm going to stick with the Bronze Sable. It's easier to cast with our Strained Mana Base, and I think it'll trade off with more things. I'm happy to make any of these trades as needed. And then the third Pharika's Cure is a little overkill, but there's really nothing else that I want in here. Chosen does nothing in my deck, and again, everything else we discussed as just either good sideboard cards or just kind of waste of lives. So yeah, we'll keep it to the Sable. 14 creatures should be good in this kind of deck. And the main thing I'm worried about is this right here. Unfortunately, I don't think I can get away with 10-8 because of this Spear of Heliod. Is that true? I could cut the Winged Steed Rider, only have the Spear as a late game thing, but I really don't like going under 10 with this many Pharika's Cures, which you really want on turn 2, especially since my 2-drop slot is so low. But I do think it's right to have an even spread here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double blocks. Nah. We're going to have to do this, a 10-8 split. It means the Winged Steed Rider may not be coming down reliably on turn 3, which is kind of a bummer. But it's just a 2-2 flyer at this point. I mean, maybe the Eidolon or the Elsiad gets heroic onto it, or maybe God's Willing protects it. But for the most part, it's just like a decent flyer, which I like having the deck, but nothing particularly insane. Yep, just worry about the mana base. Here's to not too many mulligans.